Hello everyone. In the last video we have seen what is DNS, services provided by DNS and how DNS works. In this video we will see DNS records and messages. The main task of DNS is to translate host names into IP addresses. DNS is a distributed database which stores resource records. These resource records that provide host name to IP addresses mappings. Each DNS reply message carries one or more resource records. Let us see brief overview of DNS resource records and messages. A resource record containing the following four fields. The first field name, second value, third type, and fourth TTL. So here TTL is the time to live of the resource record. It determines the time that how much time the resource record should reside in cache. The meaning of name and value field depend on the type field here. If a type is equal to A, then name is a host name and value is the IP address for the host name. Thus, a type A record provides the standard host name to IP address mapping. For example, relay1.foo.com and IP address for relay1.foo.com is 145.37.93.126. That is a type A record. If type is equal to NS, then name is a domain name, such as in the above example, foo.com is a domain name, and value is the host name of an authoritative DNS server that knows how to obtain the IP addresses for host in the domain. This record is used to route DNS queries further along in the query chain. As an example, foo.com and dns.foo.com is a type NS record. If type is equal to cname, then value is a canonical hostname for the alias hostname. This record can provide querying host the canonical name for a hostname. As an example, foo.com, relay1.foo.com is a canonical name records, cname record. If type is equal to mx, then value is the canonical name of a mail server that has an alias host name. As an example, foo.com, then mail.foo.com is an mx record. So these are the DNS records. Now coming to the DNS messages. DNS has only two kinds of DNS message. They are query message and reply messages. Both query and reply messages have the same format as shown in this figure. The first 12 bytes is the header section, which has a number of fields as shown in the figure. The first field is a 16-bit that identifies the query. This identifier is copied into the reply message to a query, allowing the client to match received replies with the sent queries. There are a number of flags in the flag field. A 1-bit flag bit indicates whether the message is a query message or reply message. If a flag bit is 0, it indicates a query message, and if a flag bit is 1, it indicates reply message. The question section contains information about the query. This section includes a name field that contains the name that is being queried, and a type field that indicates a type of question being asked about the name. For example, a host address associated with the name, that is for type A or type NS or type cname, are the examples. In a reply from the DNS server, the answer section contains the resource records for the name that was originally queried. The authoritative section contains records of other authoritative servers. The additional section contains other helpful records. For example, the answer field in a reply to an MX query contains a resource required providing the canonical host name of a mail server. Now let us see how would you like to send a DNS query message directly from your laptop or from your system which you are working onto the some DNS server. So this can be easily done with the command called nslookup program command, so which is available from most Windows and Unix platforms. For example, from a Windows host, to know the nslookup command, so what we need to do, we need to open the command prompt by typing cmd command in Windows operating system. Then here you need to type the nslookup command. So after executing this command, I'll get the reply as the default server is multiply.bsnl.in and the IP address of this DNS server is 61.1.1.1. So this is my default DNS server and the address of the DNS server here. So whatever the request query message is sent from this system, so first will be directed to this default DNS server. So this is my default DNS server which is of multiply.bsnl.in. So this DNS server which maintains the IP addresses of the host name here. So whenever my host request the IP address of the host name, then so first it will be directed to this DNS server and this DNS server will reply back with the requested hostname IP address. Suppose consider I want to visit the google.com. So what I will do, I'll open a browser, then I will type the URL as what, www.google.com, right? So first my browser has to request the IP address of Google server here. So my default DNS server is what? The multiply.bsnl.in, which maintains the IP addresses of all the host names here. So my first request will go to the DNS server and the DNS server will reply back the IP address of Google server. Then my browser will be able to establish a TCP connection with the Google server. Then it can send the HTTP request message and gets the HTTP response message from the Google server here. So this is how the DNS works. Thank you for watching this video.